following that, I'll have another announcement for a different set of stuff that we'll be working on all semester to basically help everybody get through writing your research proposal. We want to get that one started at the beginning of the semester because that's a big project, that's a big lift. So regardless of whether you've, already written your proposal and pitched it to your committee and you're like off to the races getting stuff done with it, or you just started grad school and we haven't really even touched the idea of a proposal because you don't even have a committee yet, and you're not maybe even sure what your research is going to be. Kind of anywhere between those two extremes is perfectly fine. Like, you are where you are in the progress of your project. So this class is designed to help get you through that. It's kind of an intimidating thing for a lot of people, but it's also a very natural and normal function of professional scientists and researchers. So we'll do the thing. And if you've already got something, we'll make it better. If you are scrabbling to even like have a general concept, no problem. That's very normal. Okay. So I guess along those lines, where are the two of you on your research projects? Emily, will go with you first. Stephen, I think you are like already out getting samples and stuff like that. So as it relates to your proposal specifically, have you guys started those? Are you way down the road on them? Where are you at? Emily first.
I have not started a proposal at all.
Okay.
My advisor, which is Dr. Holzmueller, sent me like an example of one from a past student.
Awesome.
And I'm also not completely sure what I will be researching, but I will be doing stuff out at Trail of Tears.
Awesome. Cool. We'll help get you through that whole process. Are you and Dr. Holzmueller talking about doing your field work this coming summer?
Yeah, I'm going out this spring to kind of like find the plots, and then I'll be collecting this summer.
Good deal. Cool. So this is the perfect kind of late winter, early spring to hammer out at least a good starting point on your proposal, so that it's not a ready, fire, aim like we were talking about earlier together. So you know kind of why you're doing what you're doing, and it's also a good way to make explicit to you whatever is implicit in Eric's mind right now for what you guys are going to be working on. Cool. All right. We'll totally work on that. We got your back. Stephen, how about you?
I'm doing all right. Just in the midst of setting up my committee right now and working on my proposal. Kind of thought of some stuff to change up, so I think it's going to take a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but we'll see what happens.
It always takes longer than we think it will.
Yeah,
so
you can't just do it in a day.
Yeah, totally, definitely, absolutely, and do it well. Like high quality. So we'll get to kind of the nitty-gritty details of it, but typically one piece of any project proposal, including a thesis or dissertation, or even like a federal contract research project proposal, it's going to have a list of tasks called objectives and a timeline, which is usually formatted as a table. And all the time, I have to tell myself and my collaborators, and even more commonly grad students who are maybe just starting to calibrate their sense of time, everything takes practically or effectively about twice as long as you think it will in a clean situation. Like, it's just going to be a wetter or drier spring than you thought, and so maybe you're waiting longer than you thought you would between rain events for getting water samples, or it's raining so much that you're just constantly out there getting samples, and some other part of the project gets kind of pushed back because you're super just slammed just getting those grab samples. So yeah, it's always safe and protective and wise of your sanity and time and energy level to include as much extra buffer time as you can. With grad students and sort of the usual time constraints that you have, you're in forestry, pretty much all of our master's level students are on a kind of a tight 2-year schedule. You know, you get that one summer in between to get a bunch of field data, take a bunch of classes your first 2 semesters, maybe a couple of classes your 3rd semester, taking basically just research thesis credits your 4th and final semester, and then you're out, you know, up and done. And maybe you are working ahead into the 2nd summer, just writing stuff, defending your thesis, that sort of thing. That's normal enough, but even so, that's still only 2 full years with the extra summer in there. So we want to make sure that you have everything mapped out really well. The other piece of mapping out your time with a good thesis, like a smart, well-informed thesis proposal, is that last, so the 4th academic semester, typically spring of your 2nd year. The graduate school needs to have your completed, edited, perfect thesis, which has already baked in all the changes that the grad school needs and all the revisions that your committee has required after your thesis defense. They need that a month before the end of the semester. And it takes a week or 2 to make all those changes and updates and stuff like that, fighting Word with a huge document. So you want to give yourself a couple of weeks before that deadline, so you have space. And then that puts your thesis defense no later than about 6 weeks before the end of the semester. And your committee needs 4 calendar weeks to be able to sit down with your thesis and read it and reread it and provide those edits and changes and revisions, suggestions, or requirements. So you're at 6 weeks plus 4 weeks, it's 10 weeks. Our semester's only 16 weeks. So your 4th and final semester is not really a full semester. You're pushing your defense draft of your thesis out to your committee, and then just kind of chilling for that last month, preparing for your defense, putting together your seminar presentation, about a 45, 50 minute, maybe an hour long presentation of your thesis work for that same day as your thesis defense. But, you know, really your thesis is out of your hands by mid-March, usually at the latest. So yeah, and that's fine. Like everybody, you know, everybody else is on that schedule too. And we all kind of get it. And we're not going to typically try to place a bunch of other external to your thesis requirements on you that final semester, because, you know, it's kind of clearing the decks for you to be successful on that, so you can concentrate on it and write and prepare with a lot of excellence. But it can feel pretty compressed because, you know, if you're expecting to hand your victorious thesis over to your committee so that you can graduate in the spring, handing it over to them in like April 15th or something, too late. You're going to graduate over the summer, which again is fine, but it may or may not be your expectation to do that, or timing of your eventual hopeful first good career job with your degree in hand. Okay, so yeah, we'll go through all of that stuff. So long story short, keep an eye out for the annotated bibliography assignment. That'll help you, Stephen, kind of punch up your thesis proposals, in particular the introduction and literature sections, and then to a lesser extent, maybe the methods. And you'll be able to sort of backport citations you've got from your proposal into this annotated bibliography. It's just a list of the stuff that you're using with like a 1-sentence explainer of why do I care about this citation? Because they're all going to start to like roll together in your head. So the annotated bibliography assignment, not a huge issue for you if you've already got stuff together. And Emily, I think you'll benefit from the annotated bib, and we'll get you guys started on the thesis proposal stuff as well. I'll explain this in the post, Stephen, but we're going to start kind of at the very beginning for thesis proposals. So when we're in the constructing the outline stage of the major sections and subsections, headings and subheadings, that kind of thing, you don't have to redo that. This class is not, again, designed to make any new work for you. But you know, we'll work with some alternative formats on things so that you're pretty nimble for reformatting your thesis stuff into conference presentations, into seminar talks, to technical audiences like your committee, non-technical audiences, like a TED Talk kind of format, that sort of thing, public science communication, and so forth. But I want you to hear it from me and also see it on the website later on this afternoon. Don't write something new if you're already past that step for any of these particular assignments. Sound good?
Yes.
Good. All right, cool. It's very